You're up.
We are up. Good morning and welcome to Indy Boomer Magazine show. That was hard to say. I'm Mary Pat McKee and I publish a magazine called Indy Boomer, and this is the brand new issue of May, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. I want to introduce my guest today. My guest is Katie, and she is from VCA, Veterinarian Centers of America.
Yes.
I wanted to say clinics, and we know it's not clinics, it's centers. And Katie, I'm going to let you pronounce your last name.
Yes. I'm Dr. Napawan, and I work at VCA Companion Animal Medical Center. We've got 2 locations.
Yes.
We have one in close to downtown Carmel, and that's on 116th and Rangeline, and we also have a wellness center in the village of West Clay.
Well, and I want to welcome them to Indy Boomer. VCA has just joined Indy Boomer Magazine, as I started to mention before. You can pick these up, or you will be able to pick these up on Friday at any Kroger or Marsh store in the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. But VCA has just come on board with us. We have found that baby boomers really love their pets, and this is where VCA is just a perfect fit with us. And in this issue, we are talking about pet allergies, which Katie and I are going to, going to be discussing here on the show today. But you can pick that up and read all about the pet allergies that pets are experiencing. How is that for crazy? That almost made some sense there. Hey, let's jump right in. But let me back up for a second, because VCA has more than 2 locations. They have about how many around Central India? I want to say 15.
Oh, they probably have more than that.
Yeah, they have quite a few.
Yeah, we've got our main specialty location, which is in Fishers, Indiana, and that has all of our specialties.
And that's over on Lantern Road, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
And we've got other locations all throughout Central Indiana.
Yeah, because I believe that you run all the way up to Lafayette, that's right, and then you're all the way down in Greenwood as well,
Yep.
and a whole bunch in between.
Yep.
All of that. So, okay, let's get into it, because, I mean, I think there's a lot of boomers, as we said, that are, interested in their pets, and pets may have allergies. Can you speak to that for us?
Absolutely. So, just like we have seasonal allergies, pets can also have seasonal allergies. They don't manifest the same way. You're not going to see your dog sneezing, and you may not see red and watery eyes, but actually it may be very subtle. You may see signs like licking and chewing of their paws, and it may start out very gingerly and you don't realize, and then they may become more aggressive and more itchy and really start chewing and actually causing self-trauma to their paws.
Right.
You can also see signs like chronic ear infections, so shaking of their ears, rubbing their face on the furniture and on the floor, scratching those ears with their back paws. These can all be signs of allergies.
Okay.
So if you're noticing any of these signs, it would be best to set up an appointment with your veterinarian, talk to your veterinarian about it, and let them do some investigation, and they can get your dog started on some medications to make them more comfortable. And just like you or I might take daily medications throughout our allergy season, dogs can do the same thing.
Well, so it's in their paws.
Yep, so that's usually the first place where they start seeing signs, is that their paws get really itchy, particularly in between their toes, and so you'll notice that they're licking there, chewing there. You may start to notice small blisters and small sores, and a lot of that is just from self-trauma of them chewing at it because it's itching so much.
Right. That's terrible.
So when you start seeing that, it may not be an infection or anything like that, but may actually be due to allergies.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of allergies? I mean, are they like allergic to the trees or something? I mean, is that why it's in their paws?
So dogs can have a number of allergies.
Okay.
They can be seasonal, they can be environmental, they definitely can be due to grass and pollen and things like that.
Okay.
It just happens that with dogs with allergies, just manifests on their skin and not necessarily sneezing or respiratory signs.
Right.
Other kind of allergies that dogs can have are actually food allergies. And food allergies.
Really? Animals can have food allergies?
Yeah, they do. They definitely can have food allergies.
Okay.
And again, it shows up as skin signs. A lot of times we'll see licking and chewing of the paws. And the way that we can kind of differentiate between seasonal allergies and food allergies is trying to getting a routine of when these allergies and the clinical signs start showing up. So if we're seeing it all year round, then we can kind of safely assume that it's due to food, since that's all year round.
Yeah.
Whereas the seasonal allergies, if your dog starts itching in the spring. Exactly. So we can kind of narrow it that way. way. We can also do food trials where we can change the diet and see if there's improvement, and then that way we can say, it's due to food. Or we can do a trial of medications to see if that can address the itching and help with.
Well, and I want to remember that. I want to come back, if we may not have time in this segment, but on the second segment, I would like to come back and talk about food. Because you hear so many things, and it's very confusing. Now, let me go back to the allergies. Has it always been that they have this many allergies, or is it increasing? You know what I mean?
I think it's always been. I think we're just
figuring it out.
Yeah, exactly. And our culture of dogs is changing. Generations ago, our dogs were outside most of the times.
Yeah.
And so we're not noticing the same kind of clinical signs. And as we are spending more time with our dogs indoors, sleeping with our animals, that's generally when we start seeing the first signs, is when our dogs are calm and relaxed. And they focus their attention on itching and licking, and they're not doing other things. So I think that allergies have been around for a really long time. It's just now we're really starting to notice them. Right. And, especially with our dogs sleeping in bed with us.
Do you think that's good?
I'm fine with it. I have 4 dogs, and all 4 of my dogs sleep in bed with me.
Oh my goodness, sakes alive. Okay.
They keep me warm at night, so.
Okay, well there you go. That's great. But let me ask you this. So we're talking about dogs. What about cats?
Cats, yes. Cats can have allergies as well. They can definitely have food allergies. They don't have as many clinical signs as a dog would. So we don't recognize our allergies.
Because they're not doing the paws?
They're not licking and scratching their paws as much. We really don't see that. A lot of times we'll actually see more respiratory signs in cats that lead us to believe that they have asthma, actually.
So they're kind of coughing, maybe?
They may be coughing, they may be sneezing, they may be having some nasal discharge. And that's not to say that they don't have skin allergies and that they don't have allergies. It's just more common that we see the respiratory signs with cats rather than the skin signs.
Okay, well, very good. We've got about a minute left. Tell me real quick a little bit about foods. When you go and buy foods, because now they have this thing which is really cool, where you can go on your iPhone or on the website, and it'll rate the dog foods. What do you want to see in a dog food or cat food?
There are a lot of dog food options out there.
Yes.
And quite honestly, as long as your dog is eating well, as long as they don't have any GI signs of loose stools or vomiting or anything like that, I'm happy with any of the dog food brands out there, as long as your dog is happy with it. I am.
Okay.
Yep, there are some food brands out there that do more research into the development of their food.
Right, like Blue Mountain, is that one?
So actually, the 3 dog food brands that do the research into that is Hill Science Diet, Purina, and Royal Canin. But all of those other dog food brands are going to formulate their dog foods to match what the research says. So all those dog foods out there, there's a lot of choices out there, but for the most part, they're all very good foods and safe to feed your dog.
I'm very excited to hear that, because I was told that there was a lot of bad things in there for the dogs, but it's a dog. I mean, I have a dog. I love my dog, but I'm not going to spend $40 a bag.
Absolutely.
When I could buy Purina for $25 a bag.
Sure.
Something,
Yep, that makes sense to me. A lot of people are hesitant because they think that a lot of dog foods are full of fillers and too many grains and things like that. But that's actually completely natural to a dog's diet. When we think of the natural wolf or things like that, they're eating an entire animal, which for instance, if they're going to eat a rabbit, that's going to include all of the grains and everything that the rabbit has in their digestive system. Not only that, but wolves and wild canines, they will forage on berries and vegetation and things like that. So it's completely balanced for your dog to have proteins and grains and other fillers and things like that.
Okay, so that's normal.
So, yep.
Boy, I'm so excited. I got a good answer now. I feel better. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
So you're like...
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
At a minute, it was like, dang, that was 2 minutes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, when
Oh, we're back. Welcome back to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee. I am sitting here this morning with Kate Napawan.
Yes.
I said it right. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful name. You're from Iowa.
Yes, I am.
And you just have come to Indianapolis recently.
Yes.
You are a vet. You are a doctor.
Yes.
And that's very important. I know you studied very hard to get that, that title. And I want to make sure you get full credit for it because
Thank you.
I couldn't do it. That's for sure. But that's a whole other story for another day. But anyway, we are promoting the new magazine, Indy Boomer May issue. It will be out in the stores on Friday in most Kroger and Marsh stores in the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. So be sure and go pick up a copy. Also, we're very excited. For the first time, we have a pull-out section in the magazine, and this is what we are calling our Boomer Plus section. And this Boomer Plus section covers information for baby boomers who are trying to help their parents settle into a retirement community or home health. Maybe they want to stay at home. So this is now, you can pull the section out, keep it as a reference, and then have Boomer Magazine to read. Kate is with VCA, Veterinary Centers. Guess I've got clinics in my mind. It's Veterinary Centers of America. Been around since, 1986?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
excuse me. I apologize. Anyway, they are a new advertiser with us in Indy Boomer because we find baby boomers and pets seem to go together very, very much so. I'm going to give this to you, Kate, because I have got to get a drink.
Yeah.
Talk to us about fleas and ticks.
Sure. Now that the summer is coming and the weather is getting much warmer, it is full season for fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and all those kind of external parasites that we don't want our dogs or our cats to get. So very important to stay on top of our routine monthly preventatives. There's a lot of options out there. Talk to your veterinarian about all those options. See what's going to be the best fit for your dog or your cat. There's topical ones, there's oral ones, and they all have their pros and they have very minor cons. But if you're at all concerned, just talk to your veterinarian. They'll have recommendations for you. They can kind of help you with your lifestyle. See which one is going to be best for your dog or cat. But very important to stay on top of that, as well as our flea and our tick preventatives. We want to stay on top of our heartworm preventative as well.
Yeah,
that's transmitted by our mosquitoes, and we definitely have mosquitoes around here in the summertime. So.
Well, and last year it was a big year for ticks.
Yes, yeah, it was.
So.
And we had a pretty mild winter, so we didn't get that good freeze. So we were seeing ticks late into the season last year.
I bet.
So do make sure that if we have another mild winter like last winter, that we continue our flea tick preventative into the colder months, especially if our November and December is into our 50s and 60s. That's not cold enough.
We want that, but we kind of need the cold to kind of freeze them all out and take care of them. So on the flea and tick, is it a monthly application or pill, or how does it work?
So there are a lot of different options out there, and it's really just your preference. They're all very effective.
Okay.
So if you prefer a topical one, they have topical ones.
That's what I use with my dog.
Yeah.
Just put it on the back of their neck.
Exactly. You just put it on the back of their neck once a month. If the biggest drawback to the topical one is a lot of clients don't like that greasy stain or that wet spot that kind of lasts for the couple of days.
You mean on the animal?
On the animal, exactly.
Okay. The dog doesn't like it either.
Yeah.
He goes and rubs all over the floor.
Sure. It's that smell. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But that's very temporary.
But it doesn't hurt them.
No, it doesn't hurt them at all. No.
Right.
But if you wanted to avoid that, they do have oral medications that you can give.
Okay.
There's a couple different options. They have chewables. They also have tablets. So if your dog is very good about taking treats and likes chewable tablets, that might be an easier option.
Well, he may like treats. He may not like chewable
Exactly.
tablets.
Yeah, exactly. So, for instance, with my dogs, I have 4 different dogs. They all have 4 different personalities. Some of them are very food motivated. It's very easy to give them the oral medications on a once-a-month basis. I have another one who's a very finicky eater.
Right.
Doesn't matter what I hide that pill in,
He
will
can find it.
He'll find it out. He will spit it out. And so for him, I find the topical is easier to use for him.
Right.
So it's really based on what your pet's preferences are, what your personal preferences are.
Right.
Like I said, they all work very effectively. Just talk to your veterinarian, let them know what you want, and they can talk to you about recommendations and which one's going to work best for you. There are a lot of options out there.
Well, okay, now you've opened a can of worms. So you have 4 dogs.
Yes.
What kind of dogs do you have?
They are all some sort of Yorkie mix.
Oh, so they're little.
So they're all little, yeah.
Okay, because when you said 4, well, she had mentioned on the break that she had 4 dogs and that they slept with you.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, wow, I bet they're not German Shepherds.
No, they're all small dogs. My biggest dog is about 8 pounds, and my smallest one is 4 pounds.
Oh, wow, tiny little things.
Yeah, so they're small.
So do they all get along?
Oh, yes. Yep, they all get
Okay.
along. Just like with brother and sisterly love, they'll get into little fights here and there.
Yeah.
And, sometimes they won't want to share their toys or something like that, but for the most part, yes, they all do get along.
Do they travel with you when
They
you
do.
go?
Yeah,
okay,
they
that's
do.
fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If would you recommend? Let me back this up. We have a show called Boomer TV, as a lot of you may know, on Sunday mornings with Patty Spitler, and Patty recently has a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Okay.
And it is now, well, she got it as a puppy, but she went to somebody who breeds them, okay? But the dog is now close to 100 pounds.
Yes.
And she's older. It's a lot of dog to handle.
Yes.
Now, she has been taking him to training and is, learning, because she's out and about in the public a lot, and her dog Stewie loves to see everybody. But he'll pull you down. What are your suggestions for people wanting to add a pet to their home? Any suggestions on that?
Well, I think the companionship and their unconditional love,
Yes.
it's so worth it.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. Dogs are a lot of responsibility, but starting them young and early with training programs, with obedience training and things, that can curb their behavior so that they don't pull, and so that we can reinforce all of their positive behavior and kind of prevent them from developing habits with bad behavior.
Right.
There's a lot of great products out there. For instance, if Patty wanted to get a gentle leader or some sort of harness, that can help.
She does. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that can really help with
Yeah.
pulling on the leash, and especially with the Bernese Mountain Dog, that's going to be pretty
strong.
darn strong.
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness,
exactly. You want to start early in training them that's not a good habit, to follow your lead, and then using products out there that can help curb that kind of behavior too.
Well, and another thing too, she is able to spend a lot of time with him, so he's not home alone.
Yeah.
I think that's another consideration people need to think about when they are getting an animal.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you gonna? Is it gonna be? Do you work 9 to 5, or
Yep.
what
Yep.
kind
Yep.
of companion?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there are all different kinds of breeds, which all have different kinds of personalities.
Yes.
And so dependent on your lifestyle, it's really going to depend on what breed is going to fit your lifestyle best.
Exactly.
If you're not one who's very active, you may want to consider a dog that's not going to be very energetic and need to
Right.
be worked and running and things like that.
Exactly.
So again, if you can talk to your veterinarian. They'll have lots of recommendations for you about what kind of breed is going to fit your lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think that's
things like
important.
that.
I think
Yeah.
it's really important to assess that.
And another thing to consider is that if you don't have the time and the energy to invest in a puppy, you can always adopt an older animal.
Yes.
And
And that may fit that may fit your needs better.
Exactly. Yep. A lot of times they're already potty trained.
Yes.
Some of them already have some basic obedience training. They're not going to have that high energy puppy attitude where
Right.
they need to be worked really hard and have an outlet for that kind of energy. And some people may benefit in adopting a senior animal who,
Needs a nice home.
exactly needs a great loving home, but is going to be very calm and not going to let out a lot of energy and
Right.
sleep most of the day.
Well, I know some of my baby boomer friends, they'd want a calm dog.
Yeah,
Not a puppy. But
Absolutely.
anyway, I know time goes fast.
Yes.
We have finished another segment. Before we go, don't forget, pick up the May issue of Indy Boomer Magazine at any Kroger or Marsh stores on Friday. Also want to let everybody to know to watch Boomer TV this Sunday on Channel 8, Wish TV at 10:30 following Pet Pals TV. So thank you all for watching today, and we hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.